Hola amigos. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my travels to a Spanish-speaking country, specifically Mexico. So Mexico is a country that I'm sure you've heard of because it's super close to the United States of America. It is just south of our southernmost border. And in Mexico, yes, they speak Espanol. So I was super lucky 2 years ago for spring break. I traveled with my husband to Mexico, and we specifically visited one region called the Quintana Roo region. So I'm going to show you on this map where it is. So here's Mexico on the map, and you can see here's the United States up here, here's the border with Mexico, and so if you go all the way kind of up to this area over here, that's Quintana Roo. So it's a coastal area. Beautiful, beautiful area. You can see that it sits in the Gulf of Mexico where the water is pretty warm and very, very clear. And the beaches are known for being white, sandy, pristine beaches. And like when you get in, you can see everything. It's pretty cool. So to get to Quintana Roo, you definitely have to fly. I guess you could drive, but it would take a really long time. So we flew. There's an airport in Cancun, which is at the northern tip of the Quintana Roo area. And it's a pretty big airport. And there are beaches, beautiful beaches and hotels and resorts in Cancun, but we did not stay in Cancun. We actually rented a car and drove south. So it's kind of nice. There's a really great highway that runs along the coast of the Quintana Roo coastal area. And there's all these adorable little towns that you can stop in and explore. And so we rented our little car and we just hopped in and started exploring. So the first place we went to was Playa del Carmen, which is a small beach town just a little bit south. We were only there for a night and a morning, but while we were there, I do remember we bought sunscreen. It was the first time we had to use our pesos. And also you could stand on the beach at Playa del Carmen and look out into the water and see the island of Cozumel, which is a pretty big island right off the coast. And I think that's pretty cool that it's close enough to be able to see, like you could see that there were lights and you could tell that there was something out there in the water. So I thought that was really cool. I would like to go to Cozumel one day. They had boats that did tours and you could go like snorkeling and explore, and I think that would be a really fun thing to do, but we didn't do that. So yeah, Playa del Carmen was a nice place to visit. Then we went a little further south to Akumal. And Akumal is known for their turtles. They have a beach that they literally call La Playa de las Tortugas. Tortugas is turtles in Spanish, and it's where a lot of turtles lay their eggs, and so then they come back, and you can also watch like the eggs hatch. We weren't there in the time when the babies were moving to the water, but we were there to watch the turtles swim around. And so you can do a tour or you can just jump in the water and try to find them, and that was what we did. And so it was really cool. I am a little terrified of snorkeling, so I had to be super brave. Mainly I'm just scared of sharks. It's okay. I accept we all have our fears, and that's my fear. But I was super brave. I put my little snorkel on and my mask, and I just like got in the water, and it was so cool. You could see lots of fish around you, and you could see the turtles that were there swimming. I did find dory. They have those little fish that look like dories, and also some Nemos. So that was pretty cool. And lots of other fish and reefs and coral, and it's really, really beautiful under the water. So that's why I go snorkeling, because even though it scares me, it's really cool because you get to see awesome, awesome, awesome things. So yeah, that was Akumal. And then south of Akumal, we went to a city called Tulum. And Tulum is known for its Mayan ruins. So the Mayans were ancient peoples that used to live in Mexico before the Spaniards explored the area. And so they made these beautiful, intricate, and elaborate cities. This one was made of stones. And it's really cool. It sits on the coast and on a cliff. And so they had this really beautiful, elaborate city right on this cliff. And then over the cliff is this beautiful beach. So they actually had a staircase you could walk down and go see the beach and swim. And then on top of the cliff, they had this awesome city with all of these ruins. So they were stone structures of, old houses and temples and everything you would have in an ancient city. And so that was really cool to explore. It was super hot that day, so we didn't spend too much time there because there was absolutely no shade in the city. And so we we kind of did it pretty rushed because we were so hot and we wanted to get down the staircase to the beach. But I would love to go back because I think that you could spend all day there exploring, and you can climb up on the structures and you can explore inside them, and it was really cool. So if you love history, oh my gosh, that would be an awesome thing to do one day. So yeah, that was Tulum. So those were the places that we went. I want to talk a little bit about the food that we ate and also the money that we used there. So I have some to show you. These are Mexican pesos, and pesos are their currency. It's what they use to buy things. And the rate of pesos to dollars is always changing. But one thing I found out that I didn't know was that while we were in Mexico, you could actually use American dollars. A lot of places would show you the price in pesos, and then they would show you the price in dollars. And I think that's really just because of the location of Mexico and the United States. They're really close together, and they know that there's a lot of tourism from the United States, and so I think they try to make it easy on us. But I didn't know that, and so we had gotten a lot of pesos from the bank to be able to use, and then we didn't have any American dollars, but we could have used American dollars. So I like to tell people that before they travel to Mexico to take American dollars, because you can choose to use pesos or dollars. Anyways, these are pesos. This is a 50 peso note and a 20 peso note, and then these are some coins. And one thing that I think is awesome about pesos is they have them color-coded by the different bills. So you can see that these are pink and these are blue. They also had green ones and I think an orange one. So if you think about American dollars, they're all green. So it's really hard to tell them apart. They're also all the same size. And so Mexican pesos are different sizes, and they're also different colors. So I think that makes it super helpful when you're like looking through your wallet trying to find the amount that you need. So that's pretty cool. Those are pesos. Also want to talk about the food. I absolutely love Mexican food, and I was super curious to try the food in Mexico. So here in Lexington, I eat at Mexican restaurants, and I've always been curious, like what is authentic and what is just like an Americanized version of Mexican food. So again, I was only in this one region, so I'm sure that food would vary if you traveled to the north of Mexico or even to the west, kind of south of California. So, but what I noticed while I was there is, yes, they do give you guacamole, which I love guacamole. The avocados were super fresh and really good. And they also do give you chips and salsa. But it's a little bit different salsa than what I've seen here. They give you a variety of salsas, so at least 3 types. So one was like the red tomato-based salsa like we normally see here, and then one was like a green tomato-based salsa that's a little bit sweeter, and then there's always like one spicy version with lots of different spices that I can't even name because it was like really complicated, complex varieties, but they were really, really good. And they give you the chips, and so then you dip those in your salsas. They do eat tacos, but they're not hard shell tacos. They're just soft shell tacos. So I thought that was pretty awesome to find out. And they're on the tacos, they put all sorts of meats, or you could do them without meats. And another difference was the beans. So here in Lexington, in Mexican restaurants that I've tried, the beans, the refried beans, are brown in color. They use brown beans. And in Mexico, they were all black in color. So they used black beans. And I thought they tasted better in Mexico. So that, I think, is really curious and just a difference. And I would be curious to know if in other places in Mexico they use the black beans, or if any other regions use the brown beans. I thought that was really interesting. Limes, they had limes everywhere, and cilantro. Because of Mexico's climate, they grow excellent fruit, and because it's so close to them, it's just really fresh and really, really good. Like, for example, the limes there, they didn't taste like limes here that are kind of like bitter and citrusy and like acidic. They tasted like fruit, like an orange that you wanted to just like peel and eat by itself. So I did that with the limes there, and I think that's super curious. I would never do that with a lime here. And like the mangoes were super fresh and good. The coconuts that we watched this guy climb up a tree and grab us a coconut, and then like slide down the tree and like cut it for us so we could drink the water. That was really cool. Yeah, so the food was excellent. I highly recommend Mexican food. So yeah, those are my travels. I brought a few things back that I want to show you super quickly. One thing was these little, they're not cookies, they're crackers. They're called saladitas. Sal in Spanish means salt, And so these are like saltine crackers. And they actually put these, I was given these on the plane on the way down as a snack, but they also put these always with a dish called ceviche. Ceviche is, it's like a seafood, kind of like a dip that has like some sort of seafood and then tomatoes and cilantro and sometimes garlic and olive oil. It's really, really, really good. And then I also brought back this chocolate. This is chocolate that it's not like hot chocolate like what we drink here. It's literally chocolate that they melt in a pan and then drink. So it's super thick and it's really, really good. Like this is really heavy, like a thick thing of chocolate. And then of course I brought back some Dia de los Muertos symbols because Dia de los Muertos is such a super important holiday in Mexico. And the calaveras are everywhere. Remember, the calaveras are the skeletons, and they're not scary skeletons. They're meant to be kind and funny and beautiful representations of the people they celebrate for the holiday Dia de los Muertos. So that's just a little bit about my trip. I hope you enjoyed some of my stories, and yes, I hope one day you have an opportunity to go to Mexico, especially the Quintana Roo region. It was awesome. Adios, amigos.